Is Max Verstappen's dominance in Formula One due to his superior car and team setup? Is it too easy to become a world champion? Alain Prost thinks Verstappen's championships are worthless because there's no competition. I do think that's totally wrong. And what does this say about former dominant drivers in Formula One? Let's dive in. In his recent interview with Sports Illustrated, Prost stated that Max Verstappen is one of the best drivers in Formula One. Prost does feel that the lack of competition does not put any value on the recent world titles of Verstappen. I do think that's wrong because of the level the Dutch driver is operating at. The 2021 season was full of competition, with Lewis Hamilton in arguably one of the best seasons in Formula One, next to the Senna vs. Prost season in 1988, but this was in the same car. If we look at two different teams, I have to go with 2006 with Schumacher versus Alonso, or the 2008 season with three different teams and drivers fighting, Hamilton versus Massa and Raikkonen. If we have to believe Prost, the 2021 season does have value because of the competition he had, but the 22 and 2023 seasons have no value. If we compare these seasons with the history of Formula One, then 2022 is comparable to the 2001 season of Schumacher. The 2023 season is similar to the 2002 season of Schumacher or the 2020 season of Hamilton. In 2001, Schumacher battled with Coulthard in the first 6 races of the season. After that, he disappeared in the standings and went on to win the championship with 4 races left. In 2002, Schumacher had a 100% podium rate and completely dominated that season with 11 wins out of 17 races. Hamilton did the same in 2020 with the same amount of wins out of 17 races. He had fewer podiums but still dominated the season. Now back to Verstappen in 2022. In that season, it was Verstappen versus Leclerc or Red Bull Racing versus Ferrari. With the new regulations, both teams came out on top, with, in my opinion, Ferrari being the better team. Leclerc was better in a few Grand Prix, like Bahrain or Austria, but Ferrari and Leclerc also made mistakes. Red Bull gained the upper hand because of better car development, reliability, and Verstappen being as consistent as he could be. This won him the 2022 championship, which shows his incredible skill of being consistent while maintaining his speed. The 2023 season is one of the most dominant seasons we ever saw in Formula One. But once again, Verstappen's consistency and ability to perform weekend after weekend shows value to his world title, if you ask me. We can't forget Red Bull Racing in this story. With such good development and understanding of the regulations, it's easier to become dominant. But still, you have to nail the strategy, pit stops, and reliability of every part of the car every weekend to achieve that level of dominance. They are operating at machine-level consistency, which I can only applaud. If we go back to Prost stating that Verstappen's world titles are worthless, then some of the world titles of Schumacher, Hamilton, or Vettel are also, as I explained before. They had similar dominant seasons in Formula One, but we never hear any talking about that. Formula One comes with different eras of dominance because one team, an engine manufacturer, or driver performs better than anyone else. It is something that belongs in Formula One, and I do think we'll see this again in the future with new regulations. In other years, we saw different teams win a Grand Prix, but they delivered a car capable of winning one. In the current era of Formula One, we didn't see teams really step up and challenge Red Bull Racing or Verstappen. Sometimes they performed better, but were they close? I don't think so. Let's get one thing straight. If there is a battle for the championship, then it ultimately feels more of a real accomplishment because you have to actually beat someone for it. But completely dominating the whole grid is also a big accomplishment in my eyes. To be that consistent is something we rarely see from a team or driver perspective. A driver like Verstappen is a once-in-a-generation moment. Coming into Formula One and literally being rule-changing, having drivers checking their mirrors multiple times because they know you are coming is something to respect. Of course, the team is more tailored around him and his capabilities, but don't forget that none of Verstappen's teammates ever came close to him. He's just one of a kind. In the different eras of dominance, we saw teams come closer, or the drivers make mistakes or have an off day. If now someone comes closer, it is to Verstappen's teammate, not to him. It always looks like he has something left to extend his lead and manages the race, tires, and strategy perfectly. We also saw regulation changes that impacted the dominating teams. In the current dominance of the Red Bull and Verstappen combination, we don't see major rule changes that impact their car. This also helps them to dominate further. I do understand that this era of dominance feels different. With Max Verstappen being as consistent as he could be, a car that has almost no mechanical failures, and a strategy team that delivers every week, it does feel like they are invincible. But does this mean that his championships are worthless because there's no competition? Not even with his teammate? No, I don't think so. As I said before, being as consistent as Verstappen and not getting challenged because you're always one step ahead is something only the best can do. And I do think he is one of the best to ever do it. It's something to respect and not discredit because it feels boring. If we look back at his accomplishments in 10 to 20 years, I think more people will agree with me. What's your opinion? What do you think of the current Verstappen dominance? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.